Only for the second time we've seen a team chasing down a total and winning, and that too, as we said, when they lost the toss. 142 for 4 in 20 overs, despite David Warner defending that decision to the hilt at the post-match presentation. Kolkata 145 for 3 with 2 overs to spare on the back of a magnificent innings from Shubman Gill. Actually, you can think of the right adjectives, but rather than magnificent, I think mature would be the better way to describe him, Joy.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I just want to show you a book about something that I've thought. And this is The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. There's a story here called Silver Blaze. And Silver Blaze, the story talks, where Sherlock Holmes talks about the curious fact about the dog in the night time. And what is the curious fact about the dog in the night time? Is that the dog did nothing. And today it's about the curious risk that Shubman Gill took. He didn't take a single risk. That's the story for you today. A 20-year-old kid batting in a very high pressure this thing with a lot of hype about him, did not take a single risk. He just played risk-free cricket and took the team through. That's amazing.
Simon, I think that's a fair way of describing it, because it's unlike, say, a Sanju Samson innings, which you'll want to watch highlights over and over again. I mean, it was very pretty to watch, but it's not necessarily something that makes the highlights reel yet. Importantly, it took his team home.
Yeah, it was a perfect score for Shubman Gill to get his way into this IPL, because no runs in the first encounter, and he just needed a way to get a score. Now, when you're only chasing 143 to win, you can play the way he played today. It'll hold him in good stead moving forward. I thought he was superb today. He timed that innings perfectly. I said at the halfway stage, he needed to be there at the end. He needed to show the maturity that he can bat through and he can win games for his team. He's been given the responsibility at the top of the order, and he is now able to show that he's done that and he can do that. And he'll do that more and more, I think, as the years roll by. But I was really impressed with how he played. They were in a little bit of trouble, at the halfway stage when we talked in the Cricbuzz combox about just one more wicket from Rashid, maybe Nabi picking up a wicket. Morgan had a little bit of fortune, but he also had the best ally at the other end, I think, in Shubman Gill and Morgan. So there was that experience and that calm nature. And then there was the young, youthful exuberance at the other end, but he kept his head. And I thought it was a very, very fine innings. And, it's not an IPL-defining innings because we've seen that from him, but I think it's one that will make him a better player and hopefully win more games for Kolkata Knight Riders throughout this tournament.
And Joy, as Simon said, it wasn't all their own way. I mean, we all predicted Narayan would go hard. It would finally be his day, our My 11 Circle trump card. He failed. Dinesh Karthik didn't get off the mark. All the more it meant Shubman Gill had to just stay at one end, see those wickets fall and say, no worries, I've got this.
Absolutely. So two things. One is what he did, and he did it brilliantly. Risk-free cricket. He never took a single risk at any stage. None of his shots were ever extravagant. Morgan took the risk. Morgan did those reverse sweeps. He didn't do anything. But one more thing you need to look at very carefully. The innings progression there tells you, they slowed down. When they lost those wickets between 7th and 10th, they slowed down. But they knew they could afford to slow down. At no stage did the run rate go above 8.2, 8.3. That, I think, was the maximum at West.
Shubman Gill said that he has been working on power hitting the last couple of years, and more importantly, that the spinners, it wasn't taking too much turn, so they were easy to hit straight down the ground. So thinking cricketer, Shubman Gill.
Yeah, nice. I'm just scrolling through the comments on the Cricbuzz app now too, just to see to see what he was saying, working on his hitting, and batting with Owen Morgan. He talks a little bit about batting with Owen Morgan as well, and the conversations that they were having. They weren't trying to anticipate too much, just see what they could do and take the game to a point where they could actually up the ante late in the piece. So again, I think I really like the kid. I think he's a future superstar of Indian cricket and a future opening batsman, possibly in 2 formats at least, and maybe in all 3 formats. So I just think when you see these sorts of players, these special types of players, you just want them to do well. And to me, when I've talked to Shubman Gill, he's also a lovely young man, and a young man that has enormous respect for the game, and I think enormous respect not only for himself and his teammates, but it's something he must have learned from his mum and dad. So, credit to them, because they've raised a pretty level-headed, nice young man, and you want to see those guys do well.
Possible future captain, Joy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think he's got the maturity, he's got the ability, he's young enough, he has plenty of time. And a lot of things, see, India normally doesn't do that. It's happened in other countries where there's been a Kane Williamson or it's been a Mike Atherton or a Graham Smith for South Africa. They were fast-tracked early that these are potential leaders. I think if you're looking at fast-tracking anyone in that next generation of cricketers, Shubman Gill is the first name that jumps out. There's no doubt in my mind at all. He's got a mature head in his shoulders, as he's so easily demonstrated today. Riskless, errorless batting, just the kind that his team needed for him.
Yeah, I think if you just have a look at this, what Brendan McCullum said, that even though he's young, big believer, not necessarily true. You've played for a long time, making you a good leader. So to us, Shubman is one of those guys who would look to lean on for some leadership throughout this season. So whether or not the maturity shows now, certainly for this franchise, a definite future captain.
Yeah, I think so. And, I don't imagine it's next year, but don't be surprised if it's 2 years down the track at least. And at the ripe old age of 22, 23, he's leading an IPL side. And he's got some very good people to lean on. Obviously, Dinesh Karthik there at the moment, Owen Morgan, who he should spend a lot of time with and just pick his brains, and Brendan McCullum. I mean, so you've got two of the most innovative white ball captains, I think, of the last probably 7, 8, 9 years in world cricket. And if you can't lean on those guys and just garner some information, you might have to drink water while they have a drink of something else. But I think he could learn a lot if he sat around those guys for a little while.
Yeah, they used to say that about Sachin. Would he be allowed into a lot of the members' pavilions where it was under 18?